Hello people, I am Jaby Koay and we are looking at the trailer to Indoo ki Jawani. This is starring Kiara, Advani, Aditya, Mallika, and it's written and directed by Abir Sengupta. It comes out December 11th. And yes, I am doing this trailer reaction by myself. I don't know where Kiara is. She decided not to be in this video. That's on you to find out, not for me to tell you.
Hello जी, myself Indira Gupta. प्यार से इंदू। प्यार की अगर बात करें तो आजकल मैं सिंगल हूँ, पर मेरा ना बड़ा मन हो रहा है कि मैं भी कोई अच्छा सा लड़का देख के उसे डेट करूँ। लेकिन बाय गॉड आजकल अच्छे लड़के मिलते कहाँ हैं?
Oh, please, I'm right here.
लड़के तुमसे तब तक नहीं चिढ़ते जब तक उनका मतलब पूरा ना हो। ये दुनिया ना फास्ट फॉरवर्ड मोड में चल रही है।
ऐसे कैसे 2 हफ्ते में मूव ऑन कर जाओ?
तू डिंडर ज्वाइन कर, ज्यादा और बेटर ऑप्शन मिलेगा।
शक्ल देखो इसकी, कितना भोला भाला लगता है।
That doesn't mean anything. He might not be.
हैदराबाद
देखते हो?
पुरानी हिंदी फिल्में जैसे कश्मीर की कली।
अच्छा तुमने वो डांस फिल्म देखी है? Hey, handsome, what took you so long to come?
Oh, maybe he's innocent.
तुम पाकिस्तानी?
Oh.
शहर में पुलिस को कुछ आतंकियों के छुपे होने की भी आशंका है।
स्टेज देखा आपने पाकिस्तानी का?
जान किसी पाकिस्तानी की मेरे घर में आके घुसे। इसे कहते हैं घर बैठे डेटिंग ऐप से मुसीबत ऑर्डर करना। ओए, आतंकवादी, हाथ कैसे लगाया तूने मुझे?
आतंकवादी? मैडम कौवे हर जगह काले होते हैं, इंडिया हो या पाकिस्तान।
हमारे यहाँ तो काले होते हैं, तुम्हारे वहाँ तो तुम लोग कबू को पकड़ पकड़ के काला बनाते रहते। चलो एक चीज बताओ, तुम्हारी कंट्री जो अच्छी है।
हमारी ऐतिहासिक टिकट हमारे पास अफरीदी है, वसीम अकरम है, इमरान खान।
तो बकवास ना कर। हमारे यहाँ सचिन है, धोनी है, दादा है, आजकल विराट भी है। वैसे मिशन क्या है तुम्हारा?
मैडम मुझे कोई अटैक नहीं करना। आई एम नॉट अ टेररिस्ट।
अब पता चला तुम्हें कश्मीर की कली क्यों पसंद है।
So it seems like this is coming up more in the zeitgeist lately. We had a trailer the other day starring Sanjay Dutt from Netflix India called Torpaz. I'm probably saying that terribly, but you know what I'm talking about, right? And so here we have the reverse of Happy Bag Jayagi, where it's a Pakistani dude coming into India. And in Happy Bag Jayagi, for those who haven't seen it and haven't seen the trailer, it's an Indian woman going into Pakistan by accident. It's all about tearing down the notions that we have about the people that we have long perceived as our enemy. Essentially trying to just humanize them and help us, the audience, realize that they're just people too, just like you and me. We're not all that different. We like the same things. We idolize the same sports. We just worship different players. The premise at its heart is quite simple, but I think the message is very much worthwhile. This is a young woman who is looking for love and she can't seem to find it with any of her potential suitors. Some of the guys that she encounters are just looking for that one thing. This one dude that she finds who is good for her is from the other side. It's almost like star-crossed lovers in a way, because she can't necessarily be with this dude because he's from the other side of the border, right? She instantly mistakes him for being a terrorist because of a report she hears on the media, and she makes assumptions about him. And to some degree, understandably so. Like, she just assumes that he's a terrorist and comes to find out not only is he not a terrorist, but he's actually a very, very sweet guy who's very nice to her and very innocent, as she assumed from his look. I think it would be horrible if you get to near the end of the movie and you come to find out that, oh, by the way, he actually is a terrorist, which would go completely against the message of the movie. That's the only like random plot twist I can see happening. What would be very fascinating is if the love story actually carries all the way through, where they do try to work this out, which is not unheard of. I have a friend who has a friend who is married to a Pakistani guy, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's an Indian woman with a Pakistani guy, or vice versa, and they have a half Indian, half Pakistani child. And I cannot imagine what that child's life will be when he or she grows up. I can't remember what the baby's sex was, but I have met grown-ups who are half. I have met grown-ups who, a grown-up who is half Indian, half Pakistani, and he's American, but he still wrestles with that. It's like this sort of, you know, he doesn't know who he is. He doesn't know which side to favor. He doesn't know who he belongs to. I mean, I hope that by the time that little girl or boy grows up, that the conflict has been dramatically reduced to the point that there is no inner conflict for that person to figure out who she is. I suppose it's not all that dissimilar from what someone like myself might deal with being mixed, but it's just worse. It's just that, but amplified because, you know, your parents come from opposite sides of a border that have a huge beef with each other, you know? And not to, you know, make light of any of the conflict that goes on at the LOC or just, you know, the dispute with Kashmir. I get it. I'm not making light of that at all. But I think that films like these, stories like these, do give hope to the notion that maybe we can see each other for the people that they are. I forgot where I saw it, but I do remember seeing information about like school children with iPads, and they are FaceTiming with school children with iPads. Let me start this over a little bit. I do remember seeing videos about school children in India with iPads, looking at school children in Pakistan with iPads and talking to each other and talking about the similarities and the things that they both like. And it turns out there's a lot of similarities, a long list of it, because you go far back enough, it's all the same people, right? I do, at the end of the day, have hope that there is less conflict with time and that you can have love stories like this in real life where, you know, Indians and Pakistanis come together. The same stuff that Salman Khan hopes for, but you know, he preaches the same thing in his movies with Tiger Zinda Hai and the one before Tiger Zinda Hai. I just realized I'm probably saying it wrong. It's probably Tiger Zinda Hai, but I like saying Tiger Zinda Hai, like, hi. It's the sequel to Ek the Tiger. Same idea, right? You know, it's Indian and Pakistani couple. This is also making me think about the similarities between Bollywood and Hollywood. It's like liberal Bollywood, you know, shoving its agenda. Because here in Hollywood, you know, you have the liberal Hollywood that's always like trying to preach certain messages. And you know, truth be told, this is a message I'm behind. I've been very open about my feelings about Pakistan. And I express those feelings while full well knowing that I have fans from Pakistan. And that's, you know, a little bit weird for me to express my feelings about Pakistan very openly while knowing that I have a small percentage of my audience from there. Even with consideration to that, I do have hope for peace. I do have hope that less conflict will happen over time. I'm just repeating myself at this point, so I'll stop saying that. Let's just talk about this darn trailer. This seems like a very cute story, and it's one of those instances where it would have been good to have a Char Kirk, but I'm doing just fine here by myself doing this trailer reaction here, because I think this is very much up her alley. This is totally her kind of film. It's a romantic comedy. I mean, at least that's how it would seem to me. I'm looking at the votes right now. There's 174,000 up and 21,000 down. And so seeing that 174,000 up warms my heart, that a lot of people are open to this story. There are 21,000 down. That is significant, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's because of the particular topic. They may just not be into this kind of movie. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, it is written and directed by Abir Sengupta. I decided just out of curiosity to look at Abir Sengupta's IMDb profile, and it seems that Abir Sengupta hasn't done any previous films, or at least not many. There's a film from 2015 called Jomer Raja Dilo Bor. It is a surreal romantic comedy, a story about a feminist author, Ria Banerjee, played by Payal Sarkar, who hates men to the core. I don't know that film. It's not a Bollywood film, it's not a Hindi language film, it's a Bengali film. Nonetheless, his work is not super extensive, because after that, he directed a TV series and then a video short, and now this, Indoo ki Jawani. For someone who hasn't done too many films, it seems like I don't know, is it just me? It seems like a risky endeavor. It seems like a risky topic to make your film about, but maybe I'm overthinking it. Maybe most people are actually chill about it. I'm the one who's getting worked up over nothing. One of the earliest Indian films I watched was Happy Bag Jayagi. So this is a topic that keeps coming up. Because I've only been engaging with Indian content for so long, which is the end of 2015, it's hard for me to really understand and gauge the level of tolerance that Indian audiences have with regards to this particular topic, because every so often you get these major conflicts in the news between India and Pakistan, and I feel like that probably does bear some kind of an effect on whether or not these stories surface, these sorts of movies surface. People may not be as open to watching it when there's a conflict in the air. I don't know how long that waiting period is between the end of a conflict with Pakistan and a movie like this showing up. Nonetheless, coming back to the positive, these kinds of stories give me hope. It is the thing that I hope for at the end of the day, which is we'll all just get along. We all just get along and we see and identify all the similarities between each other and come to realize that there's no need for the beef that we have with each other. I blame the Brits at the end of the day. Honestly, I blame the Brits. That's the common enemy there. It's a good thing a Charker's not on this trailer reaction here. We don't need them Brits to help us out. They've done enough damage. Am I right? Okay. So, before this gets any more awkward, you guys, thanks so much for hanging out. Let me know your feelings in the comments below. I would love to know your thoughts on anything I've said. Please be kind in the comments. Check out our other trailer reactions, movie reviews, short films, vlogs, and interviews. And that's it for now. I'm Jaby Koay. Peace out.